I am Kaylee, bringing you breaking news with the final court ruling of the Brown versus Board of Education case from Topeka, Kansas, which started on December 9th, 1952, when School Board Representative Oliver Brown filed an argument as a parent of a colored child who was denied access to white schools in Topeka.
We have news that a unanimous decision was made by Chief Justice Earl Warren. Warren decided that racial segregation of children in public schools is violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment and that separating whites and blacks is considered unconstitutional. The court made a note that segregation has a detrimental effect upon children of color.
Hello, Mr. Castro. I'm very pleased to be interviewing you today.
Well, okay.
Let's start out with a simple question. What significant role in the world have you played in the last decade?
Well, many people widely criticize me for stifling economic and political freedoms, and for being a huge part in the Bay of Pigs invasion and the Cuban Missile Crisis, but my regime was very successful in reducing literacy, stamping out racism, and improving healthcare. But that's not all I'm known for.
Do you mind sharing?
Well, in 1960, I nationalized all U.S.-owned businesses. After taking power, I abolished legal discrimination, provided for full employment, and advanced the causes of education and healthcare. I am the symbol of communist revolution in Latin America.
All right, well, that wraps it up. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Castro.
This is Lucy Ricardo. I mean Lucille McGillicuddy.
The whole McGillicuddy is now on DVD.
Today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Elvis Presley.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you for being here. I know you have a very busy schedule.
It's no problem.
So what influenced you to transform the rockabilly music style and essentially create rock and roll?
Well, in the music business, it's very hard to make everyone happy. In my case, it happens to be my revolutionary dance moves.
Alrighty then. We're running low on time, so I'm just going to ask you one more question. What's your biggest inspiration?
Blues artists such as Fats Domino, Big Mama Thornton, and Bo Diddley. These artists really help with the soul of my music.
Well, thank you again for stopping by, Mr. Presley.
It was really my pleasure.
Thank you, Sam and Elvis, for your time. Now back to Channel 37 News, where we will be discussing the launch of the Sputnik.
Not long ago, the Soviet Union successfully launched the first artificial satellite called Sputnik 1. The satellite was approximately 28 inches in diameter and 183.9 pounds.
Sputnik takes about 98 minutes to fully orbit the Earth. It travels at about 18,000 miles an hour, with its nearest point to the Earth being 143 miles away.
In 1952, the International Council of Scientific Unions established that from July 1st of 1957 to December 31st of 1958 was to be known as the International Geophysical Year. Many scientists wanted to be able to send an artificial satellite into space during this period in order to map the Earth's surface.
This became known as the highest point of solar activity and also led directly to the creation of the National Aeronautics Space Administration, otherwise known as NASA. In January of 1958, Sputnik deteriorated and burned up. All of this started the space age and the space race. The 1950s was a controversial time frame, ushering in Elvis, Marilyn, and the start of the world-famous baby boom. The 50s gave rise to the handheld mixer, a common utensil even in the modern household. Along with the mixer, the refrigerator was upgraded to having a built-in ice maker, leading to the decline in ice boxes. Air conditioning was a large drawing for the consumer as well. This new innovation could be found in some late model cars with an AC resting on the window frame as a vapor cooling fan. The tough guy was all the rage, and poodle skirts were still in fashion. The movie Grease may be cliche, but it gives a realistic rendition of the popular hangouts, pastime, and career choices of those growing up in this era.
Hello, I'm Sam with the Korean War veteran. If you don't mind, I have several questions regarding the war. First, how did the Korean War start?
Well, everything started following World War II when Korea divided at the 38th parallel. Then on 25th of June, 1950, Communist North Korea invaded capitalist South Korea. Our president, Truman, was worried, so he called forth the police action. However, 4 days after the invasion began, Seoul, the South Korean capital, fell into communist forces.
In your opinion, why did South Korea have such a difficult time fighting against North Korea?
Well, I feel that it was difficult for South Korea because North Korea's leader, Kim Il-sung, was more prepared for the war. The North Koreans received superior training, and they also were provided weapons from the Soviet Union. Additionally, South Korea's leader, Syngman-rhee, was very weak and vulnerable and was poorly equipped.
Finally, when and how did the Korean War end?
The war ended on July 27, 1953, when the People's Republic of China, North Korea, and South Korea agreed on the armistice, which decided that the prisoners of war could stay or go back to their homeland, and it created a new border which gave South Korea more territory than they originally had.
Hello, John. It's a pleasure to meet you. Tell me, John, what influenced you to create the vaccine for polio?
The fact that we reached our peak of 57,628 cases in 1952.
Where did you start?
Well, I first had to start with the different strains, 125 to be correct, and separate them into 3 different groups.
What was your rate of prevention?
When the first vaccine launched in April 1955, it was 60 to 70% injectable IPV.
Thank you for your time.
Quench your thirst while watching my new movie.
And my name is Cockrum. We are the new...
Why?
Do I have to say all of that again? Not yet. I don't.
Hey. Thank you, Sam and Elvis. This became known as the highest point of solar activity, and also you weren't so slack. You're just supposed to let it happen. For activity, and also to like.
Here. Many scientists wanted to be able to send an artificial satellite. In 1952,
Meet you. Tell me, John, what? Sorry.
Also be used in some late chill out. You're gonna be fine. It doesn't even look like anything.
Quench your thirst while watching my new movie.
Jump like up in the air. I can do it.